So we got a situation where a 1-year old was shot and did not make it. Looking at the footage and looking how everything transpired, all we know is right now what the story is being told is it was a theft that happened in the Walmart that led to no guns being pulled out from the individuals that was fleeing. But for some odd reason, an officer or officers end up opening fire. Don't know why. Don't I guess under I guess once their investigation is done, we're gonna be able to hear something different. But right now, the way things are looking, it ain't looking good right now. Let's see what they talking about. Because right now, definitely a lot of people want to know the answers. What's going on?
We are pushing for answers after a shooting involving law enforcement in North Mississippi left a 1-year-old little boy dead and a woman in critical condition. Family tells us 1-year-old Cohen Wiley died after police shot at the car he was in yesterday afternoon in the Senatobia Walmart parking lot. Tonight, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation, who is now handling the case, says officers were initially called to the store for a shoplifting call. WRAG Shay Arthur is live tonight with the very latest on the case. Shay.
Before I let her finish, you already see right then and there that they know they effed up. Because if you notice, when they normally start a story off, they let you know cops open fire on the individuals that tried to open fire on them. You notice they're never gonna want say that they seen a gun because they know that the camera footage is showing everything. They showed that they opened fire on the car with no weapons, just stolen merchandise. If they did that, most likely, who knows? But we'll find out. But if they did call it on them, then they probably stole something. Or if not, at the end of the day, the guns should have never came out. Or if they did come out, they should have never, let loose on a car that did not show any threat. But we will see.
April, really, it seems like so much of this case could rest on what is seen on video. I have to tell you, I was in this store just a short time ago. There are surveillance cameras everywhere. Out here in the parking lot, we're seeing it too. There are signs all over here in the parking lot at Walmart for cameras in use all over. This is, of course, where that shooting took place. Tonight, a family is grieving the loss of little 1-year-old Cohen Wiley.
I'm just lost for words, to be honest.
Everybody held accountable.
Someone need to be held accountable for it.
Cohen's family says he died at the hospital in Senatobia after he was shot, a bullet piercing the car he was riding in Sunday afternoon. You can see in this video at least one bullet hole in the front windshield of a car we spotted there at the hospital. The passenger side window also heavily damaged. Investigators with the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation say law enforcement were called to the Senatobia Walmart just after 2 Sunday afternoon for a shoplifting call. They say officers saw 2 adults and a child leaving a store, jump into a car. As officers tried to stop that car, the driver drove in their direction, nearly hitting an officer. At least one officer shot at that vehicle. The car continued to take off, but arrived at the hospital a short time later, where Cohen died. This viewer video shows the chaotic moments after the shooting.
She just got shot.
As officers are seen running through the parking lot. This woman was at Walmart at the time. She says she saw the whole incident. She asked not to be identified for fear of retaliation.
And I seen the officers take off running, not in the car, I'm talking about on feet. And these are the sheriffs and the police, and they're running through the parking lot. And I see the car take off, So I'm like, in my head, like, I know they're not chasing the car. They don't think they're gonna catch the car, literally. Then I hear gunshots. And I'm like, I know they're not shooting at a car that's leaving in a public. This is Walmart.
A separate witness told.
Yo, already you're starting to see stories come out about a car fleeing. Now, let's be honest. You notice when they reported it, the news literally reported the car was heading towards the officer, which means the car can be used as a weapon. We know that, right? We all know that. We also know that once you state that a car was trying to hit an officer, it didn't. This is why you got to listen to the wording. We know that game. I am not going to be the one sitting here saying, "But wait a minute, why did they flee?" look, man, people do this every day. People flee law knowing that they're not going to get away. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to get away. I'm not going to be that person to sit up there and say, yo, that's stupid. They caused that kid to get killed. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. But part of it, too, see, this is the sad part. This is the sad part about life in reality that'll make people question how people operate. People already know that they operate from a flawed perspective. Like even going shoplifting with your child. It's wild. But at the same time, this is the story that we're hearing right now. That they shoplifted. We don't know. But from the looks of things, if the car kept fleeing and then they shot at it, I would say 9 times out of 10 that they probably did something and the officers told them to stop, I would think. But at the same time, that still does not give a reason to take your firearm out and shoot a car up. Not only you shoot the car up, you shot the passenger side. This is the side that a kid is normally on. So that means they didn't even know who was in the car, I would think. But to actually report the news, like for the news people to come on and report and say the car was coming at the officer, one officer shot. Yeah, that means that one officer that shot was the one that was really gun-ho. That seems to be the issue. And most likely, who knows? There might be charges brought against the officer. I don't know. But the footage will show something, I guess, different to what the witness is saying. Because when you hear witnesses talk, it depends. Depends. They have hatred for cops. They might talk a certain way. Or they might be honest. And I'm thinking to myself that the people that's talking right now that's most likely being honest. Because they don't really have much to lose. But at the same time, I do like it that the person said, don't put me on footage for retaliation. That lets you know right then and there, when they say retaliation, that lets you know that when law enforcement is looked upon as a gang, because we see them get away with a lot. No, look, no offense. They here to serve and protect, but we do see law enforcement get away with murder. We see law enforcement get away while also violating people's rights. We see them also getting away with just doing all type of vigorous things to people. And then at the end of the day, you got to go to court, fight for what happened, prove yourself. And they looking at them as like, well, hey, got on camera. We're going to pay these people $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. And most likely you're fired, but at the same time, you can get a job with another county. It's sad, man. If you can't prosecute cops to the fullest and to the point where as though you can take their pension, something that's going to make them suffer. The city can't just be giving money to people when they file lawsuits and whatnot. It got to come from the police district, whereas though now they losing money, which is revenue, which is going to hurt their pockets, which is one of the reasons why you see that they up everything. They say they don't target people, but they do target. We can tell that from at the end of the month, how they wrap up. All of a sudden they do the speed traps. They start doing all type of traps, even though you shouldn't be speeding. Let's be real. Even cops be speeding without the sirens on. I be seeing them on cell phones. We see this all the time. But at the end of the day, they got the badge. But the sad part about it is I can't justify and say that it was a reason to open fire on a car that did not trade gunfire back. If no gunfire came back, why are you shooting at a car with nobody pointing a gun at you? That's why they never once said anything about a weapon. It's sad, man.
Me, he heard 2 gunshots. He said law enforcement was already waiting in the parking lot as 2 women exited with 1 box of diapers, one holding baby Cohen. Today, we went to Senatobia City Hall to request the police department's shoplifting response policy, the number of shoplifting calls received at the Walmart in the last 6 months, as well as body-worn and dash camera footage from officers. I also spoke with the mayor, who would not say how many officers were involved in the incident or if anyone was on administrative leave during the investigation. But as a small town now has questions, people we talk to hope for transparency in the case.
I'm just tired of it.
It's something to think about. I just hope the truth come out.
Yeah, and April and Alex, as we continue to press for our own answers, a community organizer does tell me a group plans to meet tomorrow at City Hall to question officials as well. For your news leader, we're live in Senatobia.
And that's the thing, man. I gotta be real, and I gotta be honest about it. This is not a time for a protest, a march. At the end of the day, we keep seeing these protests in March. It has to have a time now, where as though shit is done. It gets dealt with. It gets dealt with, and I'm talking about arrests, charges. That's if they find that the officer fired recklessness, like he showed recklessness by firing that weapon, which it looked to be the thing. This is why things keep happening. When people walk around up these streets and they march and they protest and they do all these things, and then they say that they go on administrative leave. Nobody wants to hear that no more. Nobody wants to hear somebody going on administrative leave, and next thing you know, you forget all about it after a month. Because that's what it do. It takes about a good month or two, and then you almost forget about it because you got more and more crimes that keep happening. Like the crimes never stop. Crime rate never stop. Next thing you know, this little young man that never got a chance to really fully live life, 1 year old, is unalive by the people that's supposed to serve and protect. But then, next thing you know, a month or two later, you'll look at this case and forget all about it because a mother done did something to her kid, or a father done violated. And I'm just using scenarios because you see this a lot. I'm not just throwing that out there. Like, these are real stories. Like, you'll see things happen in a community. They'll be like, yo, why did this happen? We got to protect kids or protect women. Another woman got unalived, or a man got shot, killed by somebody being robbed. Like, it's a never ending story. It never stops. It never ever stops. But at this particular situation, something has to be done. A march, that shit ain't doing it no more. Nobody, look, you cannot keep marching. You can't even do the Black Lives Matter. Forget them ruthless mother. Forget them. We already know the fraud that they done did, but all of a sudden nobody talking about that. But we don't want no more marches. We don't want no leaders. We ain't got no leaders. I think that's one of the problems today. People looking for leaders. Forget that leader mess. No one needs a leader. We need people, politicians. We need Congress. We need them to actually start violating people of law that are violating people like this, executing people, and using a blue, or what is it, a blue conduct, whatever they call it. It's a gang. You can't continuously keep doing things like this. And then you have the world looking at law enforcement say, serve and protect certain areas. I get it why certain areas they got high alert. Might be a very rich area, real fancy area. They like, look, we don't want no ruckus up here. I understand that. But just because law enforcement is in an area of high commodity of violence and theft does not mean you open fire on people just because they stole. I'm not going to sit here and act like everybody that do something wild needs to be, violated or what sort. But at the end of the day, when you do something wrong, you do need to go to jail for it, depending on the crime. Sometimes they just little petty crimes because we're in survival mode. This is where we at now. We're in survival mode. It's a survival mode. If you think I'm lying, I get that some people might look at this and say, yo, but they shouldn't have stole. But guess what? It's been happening since the end of time. When people don't have, they're going to take. Now, the problem I have is not to take up stores, like what you still shouldn't do. But the one thing I cannot stand is a person that's robbing people, gunpoint. That is a traumatic experience. I've been there before. I know what it's like to be robbed. I never ever want to wish that on nobody. Because I don't care what you say. That person with that gun that day is almost damn near God. Now, you might look and say, ain't nobody God. Well, guess what? That day is. That day they about to let you know if you about to go there or not. If you going to still be on earth or you going to float as a spirit. Because that's the person that's going to dictate that at that time. I don't want to hear, well, people get shot and still live. Well, shit, I don't want to catch a head shot and then be walking around talking about, well, God looked out for me, but he looked out for me, and I'm hospitalized, or I'm walking around shaking and shit. I don't want that. I don't want that. If God gonna look out for me, I want him to look out for me by me not being robbed at gunpoint and getting shot. It's just sad that you continuously keep seeing stuff like this. It's just sad that you're seeing it happen time after time after time. You can close your eyes and hear a crime happen, and you will not know what year it happened. You know why? Because when things happen today, you don't really know what happened because you like, damn, every year seems the same. Hey man, I hope justice is served for this little young man, but at the same time, damn man, damn. And my son is 8 right now. Ah, hey man, my prayers go out to that family, man. But this is also a prime reason why your ass should never be at a store stealing with your child. If you're gonna do something, do that shit solo. And the reason why I say you do it solo is because when you suffer the consequences, it's you suffering the consequence. This is definitely a replication of a child being unalive, all due to the parents' action. It still don't give the reason that a child should be unalive because the cop did something wrong by opening fire. Still was wrong. But it's still showing the wrongdoing of a parent, the guardians of that child, put that child in a bad predicament. Because always trust and believe. When you do anything out here in this world, remember this. You will always suffer the consequences. And sometimes the consequences that you suffer is not normally the consequences that you think you're going to suffer from. This is why when you out late night and you know you're in an area that you shouldn't be in, weird things happen. Like being unalive, or a relative, or a cousin of yours, or a friend of yours, all because you knew you should not be in that area, but you went to that area just because you wanted some cheeks or something, or you wanted to get something for a high. I know what it's like to be out late. I've been out late. I also got into dumb shit late night. And when I got into those bad situations late night, they almost caused me to either be unalive or I almost end up taking a life. And that happened 2 times that I almost took a life, but it would have been self-defense. I'm keeping it real. It would have been self-defense. It would have been self-defense when I think about it. But the other times I got caught off guard. This is what happens when you're doing stuff that you should not be doing. I understand we live in a world where as though you look at your life and say, yo, it don't matter. People should still be able to do whatever they want. But guess what, goddammit, you can't. You can still do whatever you want, but there's going to be repercussions for it. You can still get up every day and walk through the hood late night saying, I should be able to walk through here at 3 and 4 in the morning. You should be able to, right? But do you? No. Because you know it's something that comes with that. That ain't your block, you know you ain't going down it. And if that is your block, you know, if you out there late night, the stick-up boys is out. And then if somebody on your block did something reckless, you know a life is going to be taken. Or them boys is outside scoping, looking for somebody to be outside so they can take a life. We see it happen time after time. It never stops. It never stops. It gotta stop. It gotta stop sometime. It has to be a point in life where something happens that'll make a person wake up and realize that I do not want to continue to keep going down this road to doing dumb-ish and then find out later on that I end up getting somebody life taken all because I decided to do something reckless. But at the same time, too, law enforcement has to step up and realize that what is it that we have to do to clean up this force? You know the answer to that? Nothing. You know why you know the force is not going to get cleaned up just like that? Because the same people that are doing the same vigilante things, like pulling people out of cars, terrorizing them, pulling them over, talking crazy. I know what it's like, dog. I come from the city. I know what it's like. I've been there. Pull you over. I'm in my Buick Safe. That's my Philly special, baby. Buick Sabre. I love my car. But I remember being pulled over off of Green Street. You know what I mean? And I remember being pulled over, what's that, off of Woodland Ave. I think I was Green, I forgot. Y'all know what I'm talking about, city. And I was off of Woodland Ave, and I think I was Green, whatever. And I remember they pulled me over. My tits was dark. But as he's riding past me, he's like, I couldn't see in the car. And I'm like, fuck, I ain't do nothing. And he said something to me about my light was out. And I'm like, but damn. So I was like, yo, you hit it. I said, the joint probably just got a short or something. So in the midst of him pulling me over, I hear my back door open up. I look. I said, yo, what the fuck? First I said, yo, man, close my motherfucking door. He said, who you talking to? I was like, I'm talking to you. I ain't gonna. I got amped up because now I'm pissed. But at the same time, some people might look at that and say to themselves, yo, you still got to keep your composure. Guess what? What happens when you get caught off guard? You are your true self. But at the same time, people are not going to keep laying down. They just shot they shot 3 officers yesterday or 2 days ago. Shot 3 officers. Even though they shot 3 officers, the person got unalive too. They shot the 3 officers. But I'm telling you, people are not living in that type of world no more. They are not looking to just turn the cheek. Because when you continuously keep doing stuff to people and you keep saying to yourself, yo, how can I get away with using my badge to violate people? People not playing that game no more. People not playing no more. They're not playing that game. That game is not a game that you want to keep playing no more. People are not allowing to be unalive just like that easy. They're like, if I'm not going to make it home, then your family ain't going to be able to see you come home. That's how people are feeling. I'm not condoning that that's supposed to happen. But for the people that living in a different world, they live in a world where they never see this, you will never understand what it's like to live in the slums. I don't live in the slums no more. But I also see it and I know what it's like to go through it. Cops be running rampant through the hood, violating people. I remember one time coming out of the store. I remember this shit. This shit was like a violation. I come out the store. First I see 3 officers went up. And I'm like, looking, I don't even know what just happened. And the first thing he do, he grabbed me right by my waist and grabbed my pants. First thing he did, he grabbed my pants and he licked at my goddamn genital. He opened it and like gripped me. And I'm looking, I'm like, yo, I'm seeing him. First thing I'm thinking of, I'm about to go off. But then I'm realizing, oh shit, it's like 3 of them. And I know they officers, because I could tell from just they had the uniforms on. They was undercover. So they had the badge around their neck, you know, the chain thing, and they looking like regular with the bulletproof vest on and everything. And I'm just like, damn. And then eventually, he just let me go. And the first time I said, yo, what the fuck? And he's like, shut up. Go ahead. I had to pick and choose. And the best thing for me to choose at that time was like, I'm caught off guard, but at the same time, I was amped up. But then I realized I had to become more calm as I noticed the other 2. And I'm like, damn. And I don't see nobody around. I don't know if they ran, but I'm just like, dog, I didn't even know what happened. This is what I'm talking about. These are the things that happen. And this happened young, and I still remember it. At least I can say, when he looked down there, hopefully I ain't get hard for him. Nah. But I'm just saying, look, man, look, this is something that'll never stop, man. Like, we can play this game, keep talking about, yo, they need better training. Shut your belligerent, dumb, stupid ass up. Just shut up. All this, they need training. Do y'all not know cops have training? They have the right training. Anybody that say training is stupid as hell. It's not training. They're trained. This is the problem. They're trained, but you have a certain group that's going to ride out and do whatever. So when people start talking about training what? What are we talking about? Training what? Training what? Cops are being trained to uphold that badge and make sure that they serve and protect. When they go offline, that ain't had nothing to do with training. That's not better training. That's them actually going off their training and saying, But get training. We about to do something a little different because we can get away with it. Because we've been getting away with it. I see that happen. You continuously keep seeing it. That's why when you go to court, the courts are against you. It's like you really need valid evidence. And that's called footage. And sometimes the footage might not even work. Especially if it's not clear enough. They're gonna do anything to make sure they get off. But at the end of the day, man, people are just not turning over no more like they used to. People not playing that game no more. That cycle has ran out. That game is done. No one is playing that game no more. We living in a reckless community, whereas though we cannot see people keep being unalive and nothing really happens. Y'all like and subscribe, and y'all be safe out here, all right? All right. Damn.